Hello and welcome back to Transport Fever 2, the UK modded series. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video. Last time out we were making, well, part of this route that you see here. This is the short mainline extension from Berwick upon Tweed, which if you look just behind this coal mine, you can just about see the buildings for Berwick upon Tweed, and then further off into the distance the brickworks that no matter what I do, I cannot get what I'm trying to do with them. And then behind us is Downham Market. So this is the short mainline extension that I made in the last video. Honestly, this looks rather dull right now. I think you would agree that in front of me this, yes, I have a little bit of farmland and the custom-made coal mine, but overall this looks just a bit dull. So in this video, what we are going to be doing is we're going to be spending some time doing some detailing. So this is not going to be a time-lapse video. This is going to be about half an hour of me doing nothing but detailing on this short section. Now, the reason I'm not doing it as a time-lapse is that there is a forest area, and that forest area does not need that much in the way of detailing. That will only take me about 5 minutes to sort out, and then we can spend the rest of the episode fixing up this. So make sure you stay tuned to see how this all pans out, and if I can make this look a lot better by the end of this video. I will try to maybe get the sort of the same sort of angle. So if I just for example take a screenshot there, and I'm just looking at that angle, and I will try to make the same angle at the end of the video and see how much better things actually look. So make sure you stay tuned. Now for this, I am going to leave this playing, and before we continue, just look at one of the comments in the last video. Simulant said the junction. So I asked about this junction, whether we should have the junction at Downham Market sort of going off in this direction and twisting off that way, or in Berwick upon Tweed. Now, I think you may have got confused which town you were talking about, because Downham Market does not have 4 tracks, Berwick upon Tweed does. So you mentioned that the junction should be in Downham with a nice triangle and have connection to all 4 tracks. The 4 tracks are here, so I'm assuming that you actually mean the 4 tracks over here in Berwick upon Tweed, but do let me know what you're referring to there. And I do agree, I think that this will make quite a nice junction. If I was to pull off in that direction and then do perhaps a round loop there just in case for something or other, I'm not sure what I would use it for, but for something or other it would be interesting. And in fact, on top of that, we may be able to make some use of the coal that is in this area and see what we can do with that. But anyway, that is that out of the way. Let's begin with some detailing. Now, this section is not going to be detailed at this point in time, and the reason being is because if I'm going to be doing that peeling off, I do not want to detail this only to break it up in the next 3 or 4 videos, so I'm not going to be doing that. I am going to start the detailing about, I'm going to start the detailing. Let's start here, where this actually becomes 2 track. I think I'll do that. So let's go ahead and begin with the detailing. So I'm going to be very careful about this, because I do not want to destroy everything. And unfortunately, if I do not do this manually, it will destroy a lot more than I would like at this point in time. So I'm sort of just going to push these back and trim them back a little. There we go. See, nothing too severe. See, those trees are okay. These I would like to trim back. That I would like to trim back. That's okay. Trim these 2 back. Go along here. I'll trim this back. Trim this back. I'll trim that one back. These can be trimmed back. That one's okay. I'll trim that back. As I said, this is not going to take me a long time at all. I just need to ensure that I've got these properly trimmed. Now with the I was going to say anti-collision, with the collision build with collision mod, I am sort of having difficulty getting the mod to work. So I need to figure out. I can do it with anything that has a network, but anything that's standalone, it's proven to be rather difficult. So I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do this. Right, that's fine. Let's take that out. That's one. Take that one out. That's one. That looks good. And then we've got a crossing. You can still see we've got a bit more of the forest left to go, but nothing too major. So take that out. That out. That one can go. That can go. That can go. That there. That there. That is looking okay. I'm fairly happy with... There. I'm fairly happy with the way that is all set up. In fact, I'm just going to remove those three. That's looking good all the way through. Let's just quickly pass through. That's fine. That's fine. That is fine. All the way through the tiny bit there. Maybe, just maybe, going to get rid of that, like so. That is fine. And then, though I am going to end up detailing this anyway at some point, so I'm just going to clean this area up anyway. And I think that is pretty much everything. Right, so next up for me to do is I'm going to fix up these junctions, these level crossings. Not going to have that. We're just going to have those. So we'll have that there. This one as well. Just posts. Over here. I've already turned these to posts. Anywhere else that we need to check out the level crossing? That's it. Right, so that's that done. Next up, it's quite important to... I think... Should I line this with the trees before I put the fence in? Probably a good idea to line this with the trees before I put the fence in. So, we're going to line it with trees. Let's go for that. And I'm going to look for basic oak trees. And let's go ahead and line these nicely. See, this is what I mean. How do I now click build anyway? There's no way I can press that because of how this is set up. So that's something I need to look at. So let's go ahead and line this up with some oak trees. So let's go. Let's begin. Don't want it too close, but I will. It's not going to be a perfectly... I'm going to put them perfectly in position. Sometimes we want to make a couple closer to it. Some with a bigger gap like that. And the reason I'm doing this is because obviously I want to add in a bunch of trees. And I do not want them to look too... I do not want them to look too... manipulated. What's the right term for this? I need some randomness in this. It cannot be too ordered. So the pattern may be ordered, the shape may be ordered, but the way they grow lighter or darker, that is something I need to be aware of. So let's continue with this, bringing that all the way along here. Which at some point they probably will disappear because of that road behind. I am going to fix that road too. So within this video we are going to have a fixed road. There. And then up to there. Do I want to do this section? I think yes I will. I will line trees up here too. Like that. And then I suppose, theoretically, I could just line up some trees all the way through here. There we go. And I think that is going to really, it's going to help give it that, well, the railway look, as it were. And I think, yes, up to here, I will not. In fact, no, I will line this section with trees too. I just think that lining it with trees is going to help it, and then we can also give it the right trees. For example, do I really want a palm tree there? No. No, I do not. There we go. That's looking okay. Let's give it a little clump of trees here. And then like that. That is looking decent on this side. Right, got to do the same on the opposite side, which is going to be doable. It is, of course, going to be doable. I do not like this tree in this house, so I'm going to get rid of the whole house. That's like it's funny, I had this conversation with somebody not so long ago. You do not like the tree in the house, remove the whole house. It's like saying, oh, there's a spider, you want to get rid of the spider. So how do you get rid of the spider? You burn down the house. That's the sort of idea that we've looked at right here. So if I just go ahead and build this up, and you can see I'm keeping just a little bit of a gap away from the railway at this point in time. I'm not entirely sure if I'm happy with that gap, but I think I'm going to try it anyway. Obviously I've done trees closer before, but let's give this a go and see what we have. I'm not going to keep the gap the same everywhere, so obviously when you're actually placing the railways, sometimes the gaps may be smaller, sometimes the gaps maybe a little bit bigger, but I'm not too fussed on how these gaps go. Let's do that along here. Let's do that. And then I'll do 4 trees there. Tree along here. And it's already just starting to, I think it's just already everything's starting to take shape as you would expect. So I'm really liking the way that this is already panning out a lot better than I thought it would. Hey look, somebody's actually using the roads. That's not something I was expecting. Blends nicely into there. So there's the first bit. So it isn't done yet, of course. You can see that just looks very sporadic. But I'm going to add in some lighter oaks. So now we just mix these in wherever we want. So I'll just place them at random in places however I think I would like these lighter oaks to show within this tree line. So I'd like that there. I'd like one close up there. No need to have any there. I'll put one there. I'd like to have a couple there. One in between there. Tell you what, let's make nothing but light oaks and a couple of darks mixed in there. Try and put one in there. That's looking better. A couple can go there. I'll put one in there. Hopefully everybody is having a lovely Tuesday. That came out all wrong. I should really speak a little bit slower than I sometimes speak. In fact, there's a question. When I'm creating these videos, I remember once or twice having a few people comment saying, "Oh, you talk too fast." What do you think? Do you think I talk too fast through these videos? Should I slow down? Yes, occasionally I do get my words a little tangled, but that's for reasons. Should I slow down? Would you much rather that I spoke at? Well, let me slow my my speech down for this particular video. So would you, for example, much rather that I speak at this sort of rate, or would you prefer me to speak at the faster rate that I normally speak at? Also, when I speak at a slower rate, it may sound a little different. Obviously, it changes the inflections and the timbre and perhaps even slightly the accent, depending on what I'm trying to say. It is also a little bit harder for me to talk in a slower tone because I'm not used to it. Of course, I could talk a lot faster if people wanted, but I'm fairly sure that talking quickly is not something that would be conducive on YouTube. It just would not help anybody. That's really starting to take shape. That really is starting to take shape. I'm going to add some bushes in places too. So no problems on that there are some gaps. There's no issues there at this point in time. But once I've added the bushes in, I think things will look quite nice. There we go. Let's have a quick peek at how I did it in other places. So over here, they're up on the embankment. Over here, they're fairly close to the track, but only on one side. This, I think, was the nicest one. I think I did this so nicely. Although this took me such a long time to do. I remember this taking me an incredibly long time, but it just looks really, really nice. But hopefully all of these will fill in to also look just as nice. I mean, this is starting to look the way I would like it to. Right, I'm about here. So if I just build in plant a few trees over in this location and this location. Let's do that. And some trees over here. Pop some in there. And across here. I think let's do that there. Let's add in a few just in this area. And then of course we're still coming in here, so I will put a few of these like so. In fact, I could probably put a few at the end of the road. So if a house does build here, it should still be okay, I think. I'm not 100% sure on how that would pan out. But I guess there's only one way to find out. That is by letting the houses build. Right, that's the next set of trees. Let's go for some more oak. Let's look for these ones. What's the difference between these two? No idea. Right, let's go ahead and, in fact, is there any difference? Doesn't seem to be. And again, I'm not going to put. Now, I'm thinking, should I just fill this up with trees? Maybe not. I'm not entirely certain anymore. But for this area, I can certainly start filling some of these up. Again, it doesn't have to be every single bit. This is something I've learnt, is that I do not need to cover every single bit for it to look like a proper tree line. In fact, if you have every single bit covered, then it looks a lot less like a tree line. So for example, that looks more realistic there than having everything just clumped up all the way where you cannot see anything at all. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't go everywhere, because for example here I'm going to fill this up all the way, and that is looking fairly full. It isn't perfect, but it is looking more full than than you'd want, or say it isn't perfect. It isn't fully covered, but it is all starting to come together. So over here, yes, certainly need this. This looks a little too. The colours need to work. Also, of course, you would expect some pattern to how trees were planted in some way. So, though you may not have every single bit, you're expecting to see some trees in specific places. So, if you do not, then it's going to look a little bit strange. And that is what I'm trying to sort of avoid at this point in time. So over here, for example, anywhere where I just think it looks a little out of place, that is where I'm going to try and place some trees. So here, maybe the gap on this side does not need to be there. A single tree there, one tree there will do, one tree there, and I'd like to have one more tree here and here, why not? Okay, that is looking pretty good. Perhaps I think over here we need a couple of trees. There we go. That's looking all right. Right, next up, hazel bush. Let's use some hazel bushes. Just to add in and around areas with the trees. Again, this is where, if I knew how to build with that collision, this would come in very handy. Is there any way for me to do that? I do not know. Just place a few of these in these areas. There we go. There is another Transport Fever 2 update on its way at some point. I'm not sure how far away it is, but there is going to be one coming. I'm interested in seeing what comes of it, and you know what is on there. Perhaps some more performance updates. That would be nice. The performance on this title is pretty good, but occasionally you do wish that there was a bit more. I'm not 100% convinced on the hazel bushes, I'll be honest. What do you think? Let me know in the comments box. What do you think about these hazel bushes? I'm going to stop making them right now, and I'm just going to leave it for right now, and then we will see going forward. Right. The next thing I need to do, so that is not looking too bad. The next thing I need to do is, of course, the fence. So let's go ahead and put the fence in. So fence. That's one, and a line, yeah, sure, fine. Let's go ahead and do that. Is it not that? It's that way. There we go. And as I said, we're going to start from here and just work our way. Is that fence the right way? Is that fence the right way? That's a good question. No, it isn't. The fence is the wrong way. Now this is where it gets a little bit difficult. So as you saw, some of the trees disappear, and that is why I wanted to get rid of the trees first before I put the fence in and place the other trees in. Thank you, autosave. Please tell me you did get rid of that. Come on, there we go. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and put the fence back in. Fence. Right, what was wrong with this? Face on the right. There we go. That is now better. Now, could I potentially put this on a curve? I think I can. Yeah, I think this will work. So all I've got to do is take this fence all the way through, and then at that point it becomes a straight line once again. In fact, at this point, can I just go all the way up to here. Make sure I do not mess that up. And I'll finish there, and then we'll start again. Just here. And I'll take the line. Now, again, I know that the fence is supposed to be down along the bottom of this. Can I try and peel this off to go down to the bottom of the embankment? I just feel like that is going to be kind of... Is it really worth me doing that? Until we get over on that side. Do you know what? I'm going to try. I'm going to try here. This could go horribly wrong. But I'm going to give this an attempt. So, we cannot say an attempt was not made for this. But if I just try and very gently do this, like so, and then sort of joins back up onto, right, okay. We'll just gently bring it back in. There we go. That wasn't too bad. That really was not too bad overall. It could have gone a lot worse than it did. So, no, do you know what? That has gone surprisingly well. That has actually gone surprisingly well. On the opposite side, I think we're going to have some difficulty. But I will try it. I'm certainly going to try. And from here, once again, we begin. Let's go over here. Oh, should I curve this one again? Probably can just about get away with the curve. Yes, we can. Lovely. Back to the question I asked some time ago. I hope everybody is having a lovely Tuesday. Just straight line. I hope the train didn't mess up what I was trying to do. There we go. Bears. Yes, we have wild bears roaming through farms in the United Kingdom. Of course we do. Not. I think I've got to look for a mod to just remove all animals. To be honest, not in the real world. I like animals. Just before somebody looks. Oh, great. Before somebody looks to take that out of context, not in the real world. How did you build out on that side? There we go, right. Oh no. That's crashed. Game crash. Brilliant. Okay, back from the crash, and one thing that I do have to say, that obviously for you guys it was just a few seconds, but one thing I do have to say about Transport Fever 2 is that they really have the crash sorted out now. So before, if you used to crash, you had to go back to the last autosave, and if that autosave was a long time ago, then it was just a mess. But now, that is not something you have to do. So for example, you can see I'm right where I left off just before the mess. So I think I finished off, the mess was here, wasn't it? Or something like that. In fact, the mess may have just been just here. And it's back, it's sorted. So let's just continue on as if nothing happened. Let's just continue on by picking the right fence as if nothing happened. And let's see how far we can get before I end this video. So I think the last time I must have been about 25 minutes in. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to run for a few more minutes. Obviously I want to finish off this entire fence. So once this fence is finished and a little bit more in the way of some detailing, then I think I will end the episode. So let's just continue with this. Yep, all the way to there. That's good. Up to there, we'll do another finish on that. Then we can do a curve from here all the way. Oh no, maybe not. Okay, we can curve this like so. Oh, that fence looks terrible. I may end up redoing that. Right, the curvature on that fence was wrong, so let's try starting with a line on this one. In fact, I just think the lines just work better. Oh, there's a train coming in. go. That can finish there, and then once again from here along this. Now this one I could probably curve fairly well. Yes, I can. So this is a bit loud, and I'm just going to fence up to this point and no further. I'm not going to do this last bit here. Right, let's begin on the opposite side. So from here, let's begin the. Let's start with a straight line and then curve around. That is looking okay. Now I'll take that one, and then straight through all of this, straight along here. We're done for that. Back to the line, and as you can see, it's really. I'll be honest. One of the things that I've noticed in Transports Fever 2, it's remarkably easy to detail, and for a title that really is about building the network, they really have got the ability to, particularly with mods, just have the ability to do some incredible detailing. Like this, to me, is near City Skylines level of detailing in what I was doing in terms of roads and everything. Now, yes, City Skylines is certainly more designed for the whole detailing aspect, but this is still really good, and I really like the way Transports Fever 2 handles all of this. And to be honest, it does have a performance impact, but not as much as one would think, so it isn't the end of the world. And certainly I hope with some more performance upgrades, or updates should I say, that the impacts will be sufficiently lightened. And I am running this just to make it clear as to what I'm running this on. I am running this on a 2070 RTX 2070 graphics card, so it isn't on the latest graphics card, and it's still running really nicely. So yes, it is, all in all, I would say this is fairly impressive. I am fairly impressed with how this, with the way that it manages to handle all of that. I'll be honest, I was racing the train there. I was trying to beat the train. I mean, I have a feeling there are places where I can keep up with and potentially catch the train, but the train is at the moment absolutely demolishing me. So there we go. Right, is this where it's supposed to peel off a little? I think so. So let's try and, this is the difficult part once again. So if I try and do that, and then just sort of follow the bottom of the embankment along. There we go. And then try to bring it back in for the straight area. It just needs to gently come back up like that, back into the straight like that, and then straight all the way to this, finish, line again from here, and the train is long gone. The train has absolutely left me in the dust, it has. And curve around this. So now we're heading back, clearly heading back into, or we've just been heading through, should I say, the forest. And that's the fence complete. Or this part of the fence complete anyway. So that is that bit done. Do not do that. And yep, that is looking pretty good. I would say that looks pretty realistic. Some fencing, and then this on, that's all over on this side. And I think I'm just thinking whether we should put one of the... I think we should put a signal box in. So, let's look for assets, signal. There it is. I would like to place one of these in. Right here, let's... oh, which one? Let's look for... Southern Railway, perhaps not. Not that. The green, no, the LMS would be red. I really do like the red ones. I'll be honest, I really like the red ones. Height can be ground height, I guess. Platform height? No. Track. It's going to have to be along the track. Wait, I can make this extra long? Oh, okay. No, let's make it pretty small. I think this is updated. This really feels like to me that this has updated. Base material, automatic, sure. This has definitely updated. I've not seen. Yeah, I've not seen this before like this. Yes. Should we have a signalman on the inside or the outside? Let's have a signalman on the inside. The era is steam, ground textures, automatic. That will do. And I will do that, and I'll place that in there. There's another signal box, and I will... Should I leave the fence like that? Or should I not? I'll leave the fence there. I will leave the fence there. What else do I want? What would you find on the side of a railway? That's a good question. What would you find on the side of a railway? Water tower. We don't have water towers anywhere. Here we go. Yes, water towers are something that we need. Although, yeah, they need to be something like that. Where would a water tower sit? Oh, I'm going to have to, not that kind of water tower. I'm going to have to figure out some sort of water tower. Waterloo Barracks. That looks awesome. Okay, well that is going to be going in somewhere. Here's another water tower. I think we need a water tower in somewhere. Water tower here would not be a bad option, would it? How long would it take for somebody to get to work, though? That's the other option. That's the other problem, should I say. We need to think about where would a water tower be in terms of somebody working. This is not far away, you see. So would it be here, for example? Let's pop a water tower in there. Okay. Next up, what do we have? It's almost time for me to end the video, but of course I've got the screenshot to take over here and I really want this to look good. Let's go ahead and paint some wheat in, because you can never really go wrong with a little bit of wheat. And I will paint the wheat in over on this one. And I'll also paint the wheat in over here too. So let's go ahead and put the... Oh dear. Made a mess of it there. Let's do that. I'll clean up the mess afterwards. And let's put in as much of this as we can. There we go. Like so. It's a bit close on this side. I think I can do that. And then let's bring this down and fill in the tighter corners. So you can see why I normally do this on a time lapse. You can clearly see it takes quite a long period of time to do a lot of this, so I tend to do these on a time lapse. But I thought just for this one, and perhaps some others in the future, I'll occasionally do these on camera. So just a short section like this has already taken 35 odd minutes. No, it's taken more than that. It's probably taken about 40 minutes, to be fair. There we go. Let's just clean up this one. Make sure that we're okay here. That corner. This bit along here. I'll clean up that mess that I've made in a moment. That bit there. This bit in there. That corner's okay. Smidge there. And this corner here. There we go, that's that done. Now let's go ahead and do this section. Same sort of concept. I think I'm going to put in a lavender field somewhere too. Just before we take that photo and do a comparison and see if I've managed to make it look any better really. It may not. It may just look. It may look like there's more things there, but it may not look any better. And that's the thing. Sometimes when you start detailing these things, you realise very quickly that adding more does not necessarily make it any better. In fact, sometimes it actually makes it worse because it looks a lot busier than you would expect it to in real life. And if that's the case, then you just sort of messed up and defeated the purpose of what you were trying to do. Right. Now for the tiny one, just to fill in the little areas. Go this corner and this corner, yeah, like so, and this corner just a little bit, and this corner. Okay, that's looking good. Let's go ahead and use the eraser, clean up this mess. There we go. That is now clean. That is looking a little better. And what else do I want? Lavender. Ooh, I've got two options for lavender now. That and... Oh! Well... Okay. I will be honest, I think this one looks better. I guess additional vegetation has improved what they've got. So I'm just going to go ahead and add in a lavender field. Which doesn't look any good until you get close up to it. But I do like the idea, so on the railways you should be able to see the lavender, and you can. That's exactly what I wanted. We were supposed to do a ride-along in this as well, but the ride-along will have to wait until the next video, I guess. Let's go ahead and fix this up all the way along here. All the way through there. Perfect. That's looking fairly good. All the way and along there. Very nice. I'll be honest, the only one part that I'm not too keen on at the moment is that there. It just does not look right. And I'm not sure why. Not gas, grass, that's what I want. Not that grass. Could that do the trick? Yes, that will do. That will do for this one. Occasionally you want lighter grass in places, and I am actually going to... No, I'm not. See, I was about to, and I just thought for a second, no, that is going to make the whole thing of, that's too much going on in one place. I was about to add one full of soil, and I just thought, no. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create two of these with this colour grass. So I'm just going to cut straight across that boundary, and we will be able to appreciate hopefully what will look really quite good once it's done in a moment. A little bit larger, there we go. Good. Let's make that smaller now, just to clean up these edges, as usual. Now with the grass, you do not have to be quite as accurate. because obviously grass does tend to change colour. So you can have a little bit of bleed through, and it does tend to look okay with that bleed through. So there we go. Back there, all the way along that. That's looking better. I'm still not too keen on this area. So all in all, what am I going to do here? I will... off the side of a railway. We're looking at the side of a railway. We're trying to figure out what kind of land do we want at the side of a railway with a road right near it. That's the big... I think that's the big problem. It's the road right near it that is causing the issue. So if normally, I guess you would just have some trees and a tiny farm, maybe? Would someone actually put a tiny farm there? I doubt it. I really do doubt that the idea of having a tiny farm. Maybe some rocks and things like that. In fact, I think that might be something to do. I am going to try something. One quick thing. Rock. Old Country Road. How does this look? Yeah, I'm going to try something. Right. I'm just going to mix a few things up here. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And rock. Very little rock in this. Dark rock. Okay. There we go, like so. Let's add in some dark grass. I've got 2 dark grass on this. A little bit more than that. What is this? So in this and this, I don't know. Is that looking anywhere near what I want it to look like? That part is, but from a distance it doesn't seem to do what I want it to do. So for example, from here, that looks terrible. But as soon as you start going in, that starts looking a lot more like what I was after. And then we will just add in some oak trees. I'm literally just clicking as fast as I can and just dumping them in everywhere, seeing what comes about. And then I'm going to go grass. There's no grass. Tall. There we go. That will do. And I will do this to it. Is that even working? There we go. Maybe this will help. Maybe. So I know what I'm trying to do, and I want to see if this does help. It doesn't seem to be. Come on, put them in. There we go. Now we've got something happening. Right. Okay. And I think that is where I'm going to end this video. So let's go ahead and do exactly what I did last time, which was this. No, not that. Let's do that again. Exactly what I did last time, which is this. And I'm going to try and match the photo that I took, and we will see what we have. So I'm just going to check the photo, pull it up. So we were looking perhaps it was a lower angle. It's difficult now because there's other things here, so it's difficult to see. There we go. That looks pretty close to the angle I had. It's slightly higher up because I could see. Should be able to see into the forest like that. Then I think this was very much over on this side. That is looking more like it. And I think we're about there. It's very difficult to get the right angle on this. Okay, roughly, I believe roughly it was that. And that is a big change. That is definitely a big change. It's not exactly all the changes that I wanted, but it is doing what I needed to do, and I think I am fairly happy with that. So I am going to end this video here. Let me know what you think. Do you think that this is a good enough change? And if you looked at this, would you say that that's a fair amount of detail in this area? I think it is. I think it's fairly okay, but I suppose there's only really one way to find out, and that is by your comments. Just to end this video, I am going to replace this one bit here. There we go. And with that, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Transport Fever 2. Leave a comment in the comments box below, letting me know what you think. See, from a ground level, that looks quite good. But as soon as you go up, that looks kind of terrible, which is really annoying. That's really, really annoying. If you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon at www.patreon.com/ECGadget. Your support would be massively appreciated. It would really, really help me out. And also, you can find me on social media at ECGadget LP for both Twitter and Instagram. Lastly, before I go, just to let you know on the updates on the extra bits, I have once again put all of these borders in for the roads. I still have to do the little pathways and the public rights of way, but all the borders in for the roads in this area. So as soon as those bits are done, the area from, well, that's area that's already done, but all of this will be filled in. I've already started filling in this area, as you can see. I just need to put the road in up here into Batsley and there, and that will allow me to do all of this area. Similarly over here, I just have to put some of these roads in. I've done all of the borders for the main roads. I just have to put the paths in, and then we can get this entire area around Croydon done all the way down to here. After that, I've got to start working on more things. And I think I've also started putting, as you can see, some borders around the woodland, so that even the bits in the middle are all ready to go. That is all from me, and I'll see you next time in Transport Fever 2, the UK modded series.